Where's TK today?
On a rocky freaking rock, hanging over a cliff. Where else would we be? El Malpais
El
National
Malpais
Monument.
We are still very close to Albuquerque. We're about an hour and a half away from Albuquerque, New Mexico, but that will be week 12.
We've been circling it for a while now.
We're talking about week 11. Nope, we're talking about week 10. We left Las Cruces Overlook, that really pretty rest stop that was noisy, but had a great view of Las Cruces.
And the fun road runner made out of stuff.
Yep. From there, we headed to Dripping Springs Natural Area to do a little hike. It was an interesting little area. They had a little rock cabin and a dam that was up the canyon. Just something to go explore, nothing too spectacular, but it was kind of fun.
It wasn't hard, and it looked like it was used by a lot of the locals walking their dogs and stuff, which is nice. I always like to see people who live in the area using the trails. But we did see a tarantula.
Oh my God, that was such a big tarantula. And it was
about this big.
Yeah, and it was interesting too because all the tarantulas I've seen in California were always black. Yeah. This one actually had more of a brown hue to it.
Yeah, and it was out during the day and it was cool, so I'm not convinced it was in very good health. But it was about yay big and it was right on the path, and we watched it and it wandered off the path and went on about its life.
Straight on. That was the biggest spider we've seen the entire trip.
True that.
We were heading towards the Lincoln National Forest for my birthday. It was another one of those, let's get out of the area and go hibernate somewhere. And Karen found a very nice national forest. Reminded me of home. It did snow that night before my birthday, so it was kind of fun waking up to a white birthday. That was my 57th birthday, and I was greeted with presents and hugs and kisses and alcohol. So it was very nice.
I am of the belief that every celebration should start with a cheap bottle of champagne in bed.
Yep, an 8 a.m. buzz is nothing better. Tell you what, highly recommend, 5 stars. That day we hiked the Switchback Trail 5004.
Sorry, I can hear something.
Is it the snow? Is it the bear that's going to eat us?
Is it afraid of the snow that's breaking those limbs than I am a thought of a bear.
Is it the axe murderer that didn't get enough calories before he hibernates for the winter?
Cloudcroft area decommissioned this old wooden rail car system that they would pull wood out of the national forest and bring it down for mining or milling. And they had these switchbacks where instead of turnstile where they would turn the trains around and bring them back down, they actually backed up to a spot, went reverse, went down, back forwarded, and they would kind of zigzag back and forth like that.
So the trains would come down that hill where Karen is, right there, go all the way down there, and then put it in reverse, switch the tracks, and down this road.
Yeah, that's really cool. They did a really nice job putting signs along the way too to explain what it was all about.
Yeah, and that was from the 1907, 1917 area that this rail system was in use. So they decommissioned the rail tracks, pull all the tracks out, and make them into hiking trails and maintain them that way. Very nice. A lot of hiking available in that area. The next day we got up and we headed out of the national forest and we headed down to White Sands day before New Year's Eve. So everybody was off.
I know.
It was incredibly crowded. Not the White Sands area, but just the access point. There was 40 cars in line. Come to find out, when we actually got to the kiosk where they're supposed to collect your dues, there was a QR code that said, log in and pay your fees here. Apparently what people were doing were sitting there at the kiosk, scanning the code, scrolling through their phone, doing all of their login and setting up their account, paying their fees to access it, and then clearing the path so everybody else could do. The people that had half a brain were scanning it and moving on.
Yeah, it was not very functional.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a pass, so we didn't even have to do that. When we got up there after I don't know how long waiting, we were just drove through.
Yeah, it was very poorly managed. White Sands, you can do better. At White Sands, it was just, as you can imagine, a lot of brown sand. No, just kidding. A lot of white sand, lots of white sand. Just looked like a big snowy, no trees, very little ground cover. I had the bright idea of getting some cardboard, because before, when we were kids, we would take cardboard and slide down the grassy hills up in Mount Diablo, and it was quite a bit of fun. I thought that would work here.
Never know until you try.
Yep, we tried, and
And now we know.
now we know, does not work.
Oh, look at the slightest thing in the world.
Nope, I'm thinking.
This is not gonna work.
Yeah, I've seen everybody struggle. I wonder if it's because the sand's wet. How was that?
Right there?
You're almost there.
Okay.
You got down.
Do not recommend.
Do not recommend. Okay. Yep. All right. Well, I guess that settles that.
Now I'm nauseous.
Uh-oh. I can imagine.
Just for a couple of seconds, I thought, oh, wait a minute, I might be able to stop. We always had toboggans and stuff as kids because winter sport was half the year. Honestly, we wouldn't have been there. I don't know if we would have spent much more time than we did, because we're not going to be walking up this sand hill and sliding down all day long.
Or would we venture off miles into the sandy dunes? Where Karen and I are? Oh, Karen and I are. This isn't a national park, right?
It is.
Oh.
National Monument, National Park.
There you go. We are at
White Sands, National either monument or park.
in New Mexico. Of White Sands, there really wasn't much to see besides the kids look like they all having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great place to take your kids for the day.
Yeah.
And it was right beside the White Sands missile testing. So they did say if you wandered off, just make sure you knew the schedule and they were going to be testing missiles.
Yeah.
That seems totally safe.
That night we headed to Waco Tank State Park. Very reasonable. I think it was like $25 a night, but it gave us dump.
It's a shitty job, but somebody's got to do it.
And it gave us the ability to fill, and it gave us access to the entire Waco Tank State Park, which was just huge bouldering. Lots of rock climbers in there. They had a queue where they would only allow 70 people in that section at a time. So when you would go to the ranger station to check in, because they wanted to know if you were on the hill. Since we stayed at the campground, we had full access to the park. We didn't have to jump into the queue. But there were quite a few people outside of it that were, like, hey, are you guys signing out? Because we want to sign in.
We're already in the park, so they don't really care if we're coming or going, I guess. But it was fun to sit and watch some of these guys climb up freehand. I mean, they had safety lines that they were hooking as they went. But yeah, up these huge cliffs.
Oh, yeah,
and just
straight up rocks.
Yeah, just clambering up there like they were Spider-Man. It was really neat.
Later that day, I took off Karen to see at camp, and I just amazing. Some of the crawling, some of the climbing, some of the under the rocks, the whole 9 yards. I had such a blast. I spent a couple hours there. A lot of fun. I really feel alive when doing that type of stuff because it is risky. It is completely focus driven. You're in your zone, or what do they call it? Flow.
Flow.
Where you can't think of anything else besides not dying. And that's I dig that. There was one section where I was recording myself walking down the hill and my foot caught and I almost went over, and it would have been a very bad place to go over because it was a razorback with 20-foot edges on both sides. And okay, shoes don't fail me now. Oh, going 3-wheel drive. Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. One thing that scares me the most is the shoes when they hook, and that just happened. Well, makes you feel alive, that's for sure. Because I'm sure it would have been fine if I would have fallen here. Because it would have either been that one or that one. But today's not that day, so
well done to pick the hardest place to have a little trip.
Kind of reassess what you're doing out there.
Makes you think.
Could not recommend that place more. Waco Tanks State Park in Texas.
Yeah, we did get to see some actually no, sorry, they weren't bighorn sheep. They do have sheep in the area, and I took some video, and I think you did too, and some pictures. And so I looked it up, and they're either bighorn or they're a Barbary. So I did go and ask the ranger after, and they weren't the bighorn, which are the native to the area. They were the Barbary sheep, which are invasive. But they were fun to watch anyway, and they let me get pretty close.
It's kind of interesting to watch them herd and pack together. When we left Waco Tanks, we went to Guadalupe National Park. Another one I'd never heard of, but so glad we stopped by it.
I always have to find the thin ledges.
It was funny, I was running, bouldering, bouncing, and this kid, maybe 14, 15, 16, jumped in behind me, and we started running up the hill, and we stopped at the top, and we're like, woo, high five, yeah, that was fun. And I talked for a minute. I said, okay, you ready? Let's go. He's like, oh, I gotta wait for my family. Okay. And so I took off back up the hill. That was another instance where Karen and I hiked separate hikes because it's just different speeds and different ideas of a hike.
Yeah, we do that.
That night we went to Sunset Reef campground outside of Carlsbad Caverns. They have I think what they're starting to do is trying to get people out of random BLM camping and move them into more established campgrounds that they can manage the trash and the personal human waste better. And so they offer these spots that are free to camp. Very nice. I think one guy ran an old generator for a couple hours. But outside of that, everybody was very respectful and nice and quiet. And
easy to access, easy to level, easy to find. Oh, and a beautiful sunset.
Yeah, amazing sunsets. The next day, we headed back to Guadalupe Mountain to hike the Guadalupe Peak.
Yeah, we did. It was only windy. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is the best idea. What are these, gale force winds?
Category 3.
Category 3 something or another coming off the mountain. But wish it'd push us up the hill.
Is it trying to tell us not to go? Maybe that's it.
I kind of feel like that.
It's doing its best to push us the other way.
And the most irritating thing is it's messing up my hair.
Put your hat on, you'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
We misread the wind report. I thought it said 5. It actually said 500 mile per hour winds. You know, if it doesn't kill you, it makes a great story. And that one just about killed us.
Fortunately, most of the time, at least, the wind was blowing you into the mountain and not over the edge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was windy.
And literally, it would take you off your feet. I mean, it would push you off of the mountain. Wide stance.
Low to the ground when needed.
Yeah, low to the ground. Quite a few people we were seeing turning around. We'd ask if they made it, and they was like, no, it just got too windy.
Yeah. Well, there were some young kids, and I don't blame them. That would have just blown them right off the mountain.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to die. It's only a sheer cliff. What the hell? Yeah. And down.
It was a tough hike. It was 9 miles because they had the upper staging area closed because they were already full. We parked at the lower one, so it was a total of 9 miles, 3,000 foot elevation change. The peak was 87 something.
You made it live.
Skin in my teeth because I almost stopped right there. 40 feet from the top, and I'll give a
flying F. This is El Capitan right there. I thought we were hiking towards that. We're on top. We're on top.
Now we go back down and we belong.
Yeah, back to the heater. Thank God.
So this is interesting. This is something I'd never seen before. An actual underground cave system that wasn't monitored, that you didn't have to pay admission fees, that there wasn't somebody out there to say, don't go in there and die. It had a sign that said, just basically Don't go in under rains, any other rainy conditions or any time around rains, because people drown and die in there. You recommend, you know, tell 3 people, take 3 people, and have 3 forms of flashlights, because it's, once you get in there, it is dark, dark, dark. It's
Cave dark.
cave dark, which is the dark you've never experienced. Most people have never experienced outside of caving systems. We didn't go that far into it. We just kind of checked it out a little bit because we weren't sure. So that was week 10. If you enjoy it, like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. That's it.
And
Happy trails.
We'll see you in week 11.